We started working on this back in March, really when it became clear that manufacturers' supply lines had been disrupted, and that was quickly followed indeed by manufacturers having to either close their plants or put them on part-time working. And there had been this transition end date of the 30th of June, where machines, including generator sets with engines of less than 56 or more than 130 kilowatt engines, using transition engines, that's previous state engines, had to be manufactured, and they had to be placed on the market by the end of the year. So the non-road machine manufacturer trade associations, including EUROPGEN, got together to request a delay in that time frame. So we started out at the level of the European Commission staff, which we know quite well, we work with on a day-to-day basis, and they were sympathetic, and they indeed prepared a possible text to do this. However, it did turn out to be extremely tough to get the ear of the senior commissioners. I think that a combination of them being very busy, many industries requesting items like this. And also there's the complication that it is an environmental piece of legislation. In the end, we actually had to write to Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, in order to try and get some action. And indeed, all the associations, 5 of them together, used all their contacts within the European Commission to get some action. And eventually it was successful, but it did take 6 weeks, 2 months going through this, just toing and froing. But ultimately it was approved by the College of Commissioners. Then it had to be approved by the European Council, the representatives of the member states, and the European Parliament. And this also was quite tortuous, actually. There were some conflicting additional requests which were added in, and it went between the Council and the Parliament a few times with support of the Commission. And again, the contacts of the associations needed to be brought into service to try and get it through. And again, ultimately that was successful, although it did go beyond that June 30th of date. And it was finally published in the official journal of the European Union on the 15th of July. It did include a retroactive clause, so it meant that if a machine were built in that period between the 30th of June and 15th of July, that would be okay. It could still be placed on the market. So it was a very successful in the end. It was quite challenging. There were lots of challenges, but it also showed the benefit of various trade associations working together in order to achieve something. And that really always works best. The European Commission like to see industry with a united front. If they don't do that, you're very unlikely to succeed. Moving on from there, the next step is there is an amendment coming to the Stage 5 regulation, the main emissions regulations for non-road mobile machinery. And remember, this is all about mobile machinery, not about stationary. And that amendment is going to require engine manufacturers to obtain real-world emission data on generator sets operating in the field. It's just an audit. This is not brand new. Some types of machine already have to be tested, but gensets are not currently included. Constant speed engines are not currently included. There will be an amendment to include them. This is running rather late. EUROPGEN has been pushing to get it out as soon as possible because there is a fixed end date where the European Commission wants to collect all this data, and that's at the end of 2024. And as the start date moves back, it compresses the time to collect the data. We do hope to get some dispensation because of that, and we'll certainly be lobbying to get some dispensation because of the late issuing of this amendment. It's not in the public domain yet, even as a draft, let alone ready for issuing in the official journal. We think that will probably be mid next year. But the European Commission are holding an experts group meeting on the 18th of November, and EUROPGEN will be there pushing to get the information as soon as possible.